Hello, fellow YouTube. We are back again with a new conspiracy video. Well, it's not really new. We just wanted to talk about it, and it is how the moon landing is possibly fake. And this is just for entertainment only. Not saying that it's true or factual, just looking up some evidence and maybe proving that it was fake.
And telling you guys our findings. Okay, so our first piece of potential evidence that the moon landing could be faked was that there is no wind on the moon in real life because,
Air pressure?
yeah, because of like stuff like that. I don't know, but I did research and I know that because I watched other videos. But anyways, there's like supposedly no obviously no air. That sounds really stupid. There's no air on the moon and like oxygen or anything like that, and there's no wind, so there's nothing to create the wind and make it start or happen. And in the moon landing video, there was wind, and you know this because when they put the American flag down in the moon, there was wind and it was blowing the flag around back and forth. So, your thoughts?
Well, I think it's pretty true about that part because, like you said, there is wind. And in the video, if you actually listen to it, it's kind of like, sounds like there's something like beating on it. Like
Almost
say
like
if
they have
you're,
like fans.
like if you're listening on the phone and it's a really windy day, it kind of sounds like that.
Yeah.
And another one of our, well, not our theories, but a theory that we gained knowledge about is that when the ship landed on the moon, there was no crater and because of how thin the moon was, and there was no dust or how thin the ground is on the moon. Obviously, the moon isn't thin; it's a big rock. And when they landed, there was no dust, like it would fly everywhere, like it should have been. And how could we have seen the landing when there was no one on the moon first? So that's another thing.
And then another piece of potential evidence is that if you look in some of these pictures, you can see like lights lighting up this area, and when you're on the moon, there's nothing to light the moon up, so it would actually be pitch black. So it doesn't make sense that you could see everything they're doing because they didn't have the technology. What was this, in the 60s?
Something like that.
They didn't have the technology back then to show you what like the moon would look like, because there's no way that they had it back then. They might not even have, they have to have it now because like you can, but there's no way that they had it back then because they would have done, you would have seen way more than what they gave you with what you saw on TV and what you saw in the paper and stuff. They would have gave you way more if like they had the technology. Anyways, my other point is that if you look closely at some of these pictures, you can see like lights reflecting off in the guy's helmet who's on the moon. And I don't know what that would be besides like a stage light or something, because what would be reflecting off of his helmet? The sun? A star? Like, I don't know, right? No?
Maybe. I mean, if so, I don't think the sun could reflect off their helmets because it's just a big sunglass around their helmet.
It would like reflect the whole thing, not just a medium-sized dot on the helmet that really looks like a light, in my opinion. So.
Also, another theory that we have knowledge on is that when they were walking around the moon, it's supposed to be like really light, like the gravity and everything. They're supposed to be like bouncing around and everything, and it's supposed to be like really struggling. Well, if you like look at it carefully, it kind of just looks like they were like doing it normally, and then they kind of just like did that slow-mo effect thing, and it makes it look like they're just like bouncing around, but they're really not, because they're still doing it in quite a fast pace. And there's other videos on YouTube and other movies and documentaries that show all this kind of stuff to give more detail. And these are just our thoughts, spreading them around.
Okay, so I bit my tongue.
Alright, well, while she's dealing with that, this is pretty much our goodbye, I guess. And before you click off this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And comment below whether you think the moon landing was fake or staged, or if it really happened. But our last...
Obviously, I don't think it happened.
Well, I mean, it does now, probably, maybe. But I believe back then they didn't.
Well, yeah, it happened by now, but like, In my opinion, I don't think that they had the technology to be doing this way back then. I think that they just wanted to beat anyone else who could potentially have the technology to go up to the moon, so we can say like the Americas or the U.S. or whatever is great. Because we definitely didn't do it.
Yeah, well, make sure to like and subscribe and comment below on what you believe.
Ew.